His hand paused at my wrist just before I reached the door, gentle, just enough to make me stop. "Not yet," he said, voice calm. "Let's wait." That's when I realized he wasn't unsure. He was ready for the moment to unfold exactly as he intended. If you've been here before, you know the drill. A like or subscribe goes a long way. And if this is your first time, you picked the right one. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Let's begin. The hem of my dress skimmed the tops of my feet as I crossed the room. Dark, soft fabric brushing my ankles. The floor was cool beneath bare toes. I reached for the door, hand steady, not from calm, but from focus. Behind me, Leo's steps slowed. Quiet, deliberate. Just before my fingers touched the knob, his hand found my wrist. Gentle. A pause, not a stop. "Not yet," he repeated. I didn't turn. I just stilled. His hand rested, warm and light, waiting for silence to settle. We waited. One candle flickered by the stairs, another glowed in the mirror's edge. I could feel him behind me, not touching but present. Then his hands rested softly at my sides. No pressure, just warmth. A breath left me, quiet through my nose. From beyond the door, the air shifted, barely. A change in stillness. My hand twitched. He stayed with me. No urging, just being. We stood like that, still, breathing. Then, 3 soft knocks. Deliberate. He leaned closer. "Now," he said, and stepped back. I opened the door. 2 men stood outside. One taller, relaxed. The other held something small, like a coat or scarf. Their eyes met mine. No questions. No expectations. Behind me, Leo stayed. Solid. I didn't need to see him to know he hadn't moved. The men entered without speaking. The door clicked shut behind them. The taller man, Isaac, reached out. I realized I was still holding my coat. I passed it to him without thought. He folded it neatly. The other, Eli, held out a glass. Slim, chilled. I took it by the stem, careful not to touch. The room was quiet. Just candlelight shifting. One by the window, another near the dresser. I raised the glass, not to drink, just to pause. The rim brushed my lip. I inhaled. The room didn't feel heavier, just quieter. I shifted slightly. My dress caught the edge of light. I looked at Leo. He met my eyes. Calm. A small nod. I stepped forward. Isaac met me halfway, his hand lifted slightly, palm hovering near my arm, never touching. I didn't retreat. Behind me, the couch sighed as Leo sat. I didn't turn. Isaac motioned subtly toward the table. I glanced down, still holding the glass. I handed it to him. He placed it beside the candle. The flame danced in the reflection. I inhaled, steady now. He reached for a small cushion, placed it upright, then stepped aside. I moved toward it. No words, just motion. I sat carefully, posture tall, hands resting at my lap. Isaac remained standing, present, not pressing. The candlelight touched the side of his jacket. He adjusted his sleeve, then stilled again. I looked back at Leo, calm, steady. Eli approached, slow, not to guide, just to join. He sat across from me, in the armchair, hands on the arms, gaze soft. For the first time, I exhaled fully. Then, contact, not invasive, just present. Isaac adjusted my legs slightly. Eli smoothed a fold of fabric at my shoulder. My breath caught, not in fear, but surprise. I hadn't expected such stillness. I reached for balance, my hand landing on Isaac's forearm. He didn't move, just let it rest there. The fabric eased lower, gravity, not force. A breeze touched my collarbone. One stepped back, allowing folds to settle again. Their attention never pressed. It waited. One kneeled beside me, the other tucked a curl behind my ear. Stillness held, no asking, just waiting, and I moved. Isaac lifted behind my knees. Eli cradled near my shoulders. They carried me, slow, deliberate, until my back met the rug. The room folded in. Leo came first, his body curled behind mine. I knew him by breath, by shape. Then Eli settled ahead of me, his posture lowering, his eyes near mine. I adjusted slightly, not from need, but alignment. Isaac's hand grounded at my waist. Eli's touch traced my arm, a reminder. Then, stillness again. A hand hovered at my spine. Another paused at my ribs. My hands pressed the rug, and then, "Don't stop," Leo said. It wasn't loud. It didn't have to be. I met his eyes, unblinking, still. I didn't respond, but I didn't look away. My shoulders eased. My body leaned further into the arms around me. I wasn't being taken. I was choosing. They moved again, slight, careful, like listening for words I hadn't said. Each movement melted into the next. Breath, fabric, stillness. I hovered, just above tension. Not overwhelmed, just here. Eyes closed. And then it peaked. A breath caught, then released. I turned to Leo. He hadn't moved, watching. And something inside me opened. Not broken, just open. I whispered the only words that made sense. "Let them stay."